What does permission to
Oh,
be you?
that's
Yeah.
what it means. It just means like, oh, that's when you were saying it, I just felt that, oh, yes, making your own choices, not worrying about other people's opinions,
Hmm.
uh, just just you. Well, when I say not worrying about other people's opinions, being aware of them, but making the choices for you. Dr. John Demartini, we talk about universal laws with John. I talk about it.
Mhm.
And one of the things he said, there's a law of the lesser, um, PISSES, which is,
Yeah.
spell that out. I don't know if we can say that on here. He says it's the law of the lesser pisses. That's it. PISSES, I think that's how you spell it. And he said you're going to pee somebody off
Mhm.
when you make a decision.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome, dear friends. Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations, our podcast. And we have a really good, strong topic today, giving yourself permission to be you. I love that. It just
Ooh.
lights my heart up. Giving yourself
Mm.
permission to be you. Um,
Yeah.
in order to do that, giving yourself permission to be you, we encourage you, if you've been here with us before, you know that we do our PEMS check-in first. And PEMS is our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, like all four pillars of you. And this is such an essential component to giving yourself permission to be you because it's your four pillars. How are you? And we rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is like completely balanced at ease, 0 for Zen, feeling really present and calm. And then, of course, 10, the other end of the spectrum, is yes, tearing your hair out, crazy making, thinking, discombobulated. And the truth is we move up and down that scale. And not only do we move up and down that scale, but the different pillars can move in different ways. Like you might physically be feeling really depleted and tired, but mentally be feeling really fired up and inspired. So it's about just being available to checking in and assessing. So all that being said, we check in here and we encourage you to check in at our halfway point, and then we'll all check in at the end. So all that being said, dear Deb, where are you?
I'm going to say a 3. And
Okay.
I would say 2. I'm just justifying it.
Just
I would say a 2, but there's one problem that's very heavy I'm dealing with right now, and that escalates a whole number on its own. So if,
right.
if I said the rest of my life is a 2, if I didn't have this problem, but because I have this problem, it's a 3.
It's a 3. Yes.
Yeah.
And so
And
that's
it's
the
just a
thing.
number. So
It's
yeah,
just a
yeah.
number, and it's just a tool of assessing. And so to your point, you are aware of what's throwing that number up a little bit. And so
Yeah.
awareness is such an important part all
It's like
around
there's
this
there's a tip
permission
on
to be
its
you.
own.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So for me, I am actually at a 2. So it's interesting you said you were
You don't have my
vacillating there.
problem.
I don't have your problem. No.
I don't want it. Moira says.
No, thank you.
Nope.
So this is it. Our intention with these conversations has always been about helping you tap into an awareness of where you are, but our intention is to give you ideas and tips and maybe even little pieces of laughter and lightness to help ease you into that space of closer to the zero. So we encourage you to have a note-taking device because we like to get lots of tips on what we're talking about. So like I said, giving yourself permission to be you. What does that mean to you, Deb, when I say permission to be you? What does permission to
Oh,
be you? Yeah.
that's what it means. It just means like, oh, that's when you were saying it, I just felt that, oh, yes, making your own choices, not worrying about other people's opinions,
Hmm.
just you. Well, when I say not worrying about other people's opinions, being aware of them, but making the choices for you. Dr. John Demartini, we talk about universal laws with John. I talk about it. And one of the things he said, there's a law of the lesser, PISSES, which is spelled it out. I don't know if we can say that on here. He says it's the law of the lesser pisses. That's it. PISSES, I think that's how you spell it. And he said you're going to pee somebody off when you make a decision, but you choose the best option that works for you. And I mean, it's definitely not a universal law, but it's one he's made up. And I actually really like it because it makes you go, you know what? When you make choices, one of the things he does is he says, who are you going to peeve off the least? And are you looking at that? Or who are you going to peeve off the most? So it's giving yourself permission to be you, to me, is who are you going to make your own decisions for, which is you, but you want to have the least amount of, I guess, destruction out there with your impact. Does that make sense?
Well, it does. But that tip, so I'm taking that tip as
okay.
permission to be you is making your own choices. But it also made me think just what you were describing, and that I've shared this question before. I really encourage my clients and students
I
to
know
use
that question. It's on my computer.
How does this make me feel about me?
Yeah.
Right? How does this make me feel about me? So to your point, if we choose the thing that's going to upset people the least.
Yeah.
But just as I'm feeling into that, I don't know about that, because really it's when we give ourselves permission to feel what's right for us, then that actually ripples out into the collective, because then energetically we're giving everyone permission to tap into what's right for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it's about not getting caught up in the shoulds or the what are they doing, or how are they going to take what I'm doing, right?
I think the thing is, you're going to peeve somebody off.
And can you be okay with that?
Yeah, like you're going to upset somebody with your decisions.
Are you though? Are you though?
Well, you can if they're sitting in there. But I mean, if someone goes, or any decision we make, you can upset. There's going to be somebody who's going to be affected by that decision. But you okay, so we're running late to an event. You're trying to get out the door, and then the partner goes, oh, hang on, I need to do the toilet. And so then you're like, come on, we've got to go. So their decision to go to the toilet has now delayed you by 2 or 3 minutes. But at the end of the day, and if we're pointing the finger, which you don't, but if you're pointing the finger, who's at fault there? You, because you weren't ready on time, them because they've gone to the toilet. Like, the truth is, it's a combination of you both, isn't it? Who's come to that energy to go, we're leaving at this time to get in the car. They're the things that they've set up. So who can you be peeved off with? You can't be peeved off with your partner because they want to go to the toilet. But you can't be peeved off with yourself. You actually have to go, well, I made this decision.
Okay.
Does that make Moira's looking at me like, and so you're not, so when I think about that, whose decision's right or wrong?
So here's the thing is, I don't think there's a right or wrong in here.
Well, I 100% agree. There is no right or wrong. It just is.
Yeah. Exactly. So here's in that scenario that you just painted, I wouldn't be upset
You
with
can't blame
me or
them.
with
You
them.
can't blame you.
No,
No.
but permission to be me says I would just say, okay, I'm still going to get there at the right time.
So maybe there's so summing that up, there's you can't so you can't blame others. Well, you take accountability.
Mhm.
Accountability to your actions, decisions, thoughts.
Well,
Well, so
and
I could say there's no right or wrong in that, because I go, well, actually, you both equally made a decision together that you both agreed on, and they didn't break that agreement by going to the toilet and making you 2 minutes late. I mean, it sounds so pathetic when I hear it, but these are the things that can escalate people, though, too. Come on, we're running late. Oh, I need to go to the toilet. I need to go on and get something. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah, you be accountable to your own actions, decisions, thoughts, with no finger blaming.
okay. So
Would that sum that up? Moira's going to sum it up in a soft toned voice, and she'll go, I know what you're trying to say, Deborah. I can get there.
well, so the thing is and maybe this is just how I roll. Giving yourself permission to be you. I don't ever think, oh, it's your fault or you screwed up
No, but
it's
your head is very different. Your and my head's very different to
yes.
quite a few people out there.
Mhm.
So when we say that, yes, but then there's our people who go, no, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And
But here's when people, other people's opinions are, that's fine. Go for it.
Yeah.
You can tell
Yeah.
me I'm wrong if you like. And I'm okay with that. Me giving myself permission to be me says you can think that I'm wrong or I'm weird or I'm flaky or I'm too kind or too nice or too whatever. That's okay. I'm actually completely okay for people having weird opinions of me, because to be honest with you, they are weird opinions because they're none of my business.
Well, that's it. Other people's opinions are none of my business.
Yeah.
Opinions of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, just opinions in general, because I don't want to, I will relate and interact with people who vibe with how I am, or sometimes when we can get challenged by somebody else's opinion, and that's actually a gift. It's an invitation to go, oh, is that really true? Do I really think like that? And because sometimes I can have a light hold on things. I'm not hard and fast about anything really, but permission to be you really what I'm trying to say is that if you have a propensity to say, oh, that person's doing this, that means this, pause for a wee moment and say, who said that?
Yeah.
Is that a belief that you have allowed to run unchecked? And maybe you don't believe that. Maybe you do, but maybe it's time to actually see, where did it come from? All too often, I'm thinking about a conversation I had with somebody where and the conversation goes kind of like, well, this person shouldn't have done that because good people don't do things like this. And
You know what? When you just said that, I was like, that's exactly what we talked about beforehand. When I was like, they shouldn't be doing this. I was like, oh, there it is
Oopsie.
right there.
Oopsie.
And that's the thing that's taken me from a 2 to a 3.
Yes.
They
And
shouldn't
so,
be doing that justice.
but right, so there is a good example, is to see, is that, like, what's that informing you of internally? Because sometimes we can see something happening, like in your example, if somebody's doing something that's, unethical or potentially going to be
Injustice or something. Yeah,
yeah, an
that doesn't fit
injustice,
right
or
with you.
yeah,
Yeah,
unethical and bullying, or those types of things, we do need to step up and say that's not okay.
yeah.
but we need to make sure that we have clarity, that we haven't gone in with an assumption, or we haven't that we actually have all of the details.
I was just going to say, with having all the information left and right, front and back, and
Yes.
not having any misinformation, because that's where peeved offness comes in.
That's
When
right.
there's missing information,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
you find out. But when, yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually really important. And so it's about having, because you can get into the knee-jerk reaction. Oh, that's a terrible thing. That's not okay to do that. Or but then own it. Own it. You can't communicate that out until you own it. Sit with it, check in with yourself, and assess, are you making up a story? Have you got an agenda or something that's you've allowed to fester and tick you off or peeve you off in some way, that you're then maybe not seeing clearly where that person's coming from or what it is they're doing, right?
Yeah, and you said at the start when we were talking, you said awareness. So
Yeah.
that's like that's exactly that, and awareness, but also own your role in this action, or in this emotion, or in this whatever it is.
Yeah. Permission to be you is so much about that, is that, how sometimes we can is I'm just gonna say that I do this, but I don't. But I hear people telling me about all the things that are wrong. There's this injustice that this group's doing something bad. Actually, I was talking to a client this just past week, and there's a boycott of one of the supermarkets. And I don't know anything about it, but seemingly that's the whole thing. I don't know anything about it. But so my thing
Well,
is,
see, that's missing. That's the same thing as missing information again.
yes. And so
Yeah.
therefore I can't get into the conversation. I'm just like, okay, that's interesting that that's happening. I have no information or awareness of this.
But you can't put anything on it because
Yeah.
you're, and I think that's, yeah. Yeah, my head goes, because we do live in our bubble of certain things, like because we live in our bubble, we're not aware.
Yeah.
I just
And so so that's such a key piece, is to, when we are giving ourselves permission to be ourselves, we own the things that we are not aware of too, right? We don't jump on to a crazy Megan, oh my God, that's terrible, and the injustice of this and da, because we don't know, right? So in order to have a conversation or an agreement with something, or a disagreement even, we must have all the details.
Yeah.
But be totally okay, because to my mind, I think it's okay to not have an awareness and say, okay, that's not happening in my world, right?
Well, even between the two countries, what happens in your world is different to what happens in my
Yeah,
world, because I'm
absolutely.
not aware of your hometown or what's going on with your things. I don't follow your politics, your mortgage rates. I don't follow anything.
Yeah.
Jesus, even that stuff makes you go, but I think, even though we've chatted people, I've written 4 solid points down. We just haven't gone, hey, here's a point here, by the way. Usually we go, and the next tip is, I just
Right.
have to, but because when Moira's and I've had this conversation, we've actually let out a lot of information for people. But I love that missing information. And my thing is, I'm going to say, you have to get clear on what you want it to look like. If you give yourself permission to be you, what do you want it to look like? And it's not just what do you want yourself to look like. Do you want blonde hair? Do you want black hair? Do you want brown hair? Do you want shades of purple in your hair? Moira's like, yes, please. But what do you want you to look like? Now, that's not going to be something that's concrete and solid. But the more specific you are on what you would like your life to look like, or when you go to your family, what conversations are you looking to have? What do you want to come away uplifted or depleted? You know, what is it that you want? Because if you're not clear in anything in this world, the universe is just going to do its own thing for you. So the more specific. But if you're to give yourself permission to be you, what does that mean? Make a decision within a minute and move on or not. But when I say what do you want it to look like, you've got to be realistic. I'm very firm on that. And when I say realistic to universal principles, you know, your own morals and ethics, your own decisions and things like that. Not just saying, I'm just going to say yes to everything. Just going to say yes to everything and I'll deal with it later. Well, that's not going to be the best thing, I don't think, because there's things that you'd probably be wise to say no to. So you just have to get clear on what you want you to look like. Does that make sense?
Well, it does, but I would add to that, because the note I made here is that there's an underlying thread. You know how people talk about what's my life purpose? What's my purpose in life? What's my life purpose?
Yeah.
The fundamental piece of life purpose is to know thyself, to actually completely 100% know and understand yourself. Now, in that, I believe that that is a continual evolution while we are alive and in this physical form.
I don't think who you are now is who you were at the start of this podcast. You're a different person at the end of it.
Yes.
Like, you can't be that exact same person. I think you can't be. So I said I'm a 3. At the end of this podcast, I know my number's going to change. And if it doesn't, that's okay. But I'm still a different person at the end of the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm really underlining with this aspect of giving yourself permission to be you is to really stay present to what is that right now.
Yeah.
This you is because we're always making changes and shifts, and to your point, you know, when you check in on your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, it moves, it shifts. You can't always say, okay, I'm going to be at a 0 all the time. That'd be kind of boring anyways, kind of vanilla, right?
Ugh.
But we can aspire
I don't
to
like
be
10s
the
though.
best version. You don't like what?
I don't like going down to a 10.
No. Or beyond. We've had that
beyond.
before. But you know what I mean? It's like to celebrate. Oh, there's a tip right in itself. Celebrate the versions of you that you've animated, the versions of you that you've learnt from and released. Celebrate the versions of you who have yet to come into being, that are up the timeline. So celebrating is such a beautiful way to really take ownership for all that is happening for you, right? It's like if you're giving yourself permission to, I am a powerful creator being, everything that happens around me is for me. Even those things that maybe do push you off to a 10, they're still for you. And so by celebrating it and having cultivating an attitude of gratitude allows us to do that, right?
Yeah.
And really,
I think you know, and when we say that, I was thinking pat yourself on the back. It can be easy. It doesn't, you know, when we say celebrate, we're not necessarily saying go out and throw a party for yourself. Like,
no,
I'm
just patting yourself on the back and saying, yay me.
Yeah, yay me. I got through the day, or yay me, what a, you know, a pickle, or in anything. I think that's important. Well, I just kept thinking, I just had to go to my drawer, because some of us know the 4 agreements off by heart and some of us don't. Just gonna say.
It would be me that knows them off by heart.
We know who knows them off by heart. But the 4 agreements really come into play here. And these are in no particular order, Deborah. Just tell myself that. But there's a thing called don't make assumptions.
Right.
And I love that. Just don't make assumptions. And if you're giving yourself permission to be you, if you can live by the 4 agreements, it just we've done a bit of 4 agreements talking lately. I'm like, well, then there's a phase we didn't. But if you can not make assumptions, you're actually giving yourself permission to be you.
Yeah.
Always do your best. You're giving yourself permission to be you. Be impeccable with your word. You're giving yourself permission to be you. And my favorite one, which I think some of
Take things
is
personally.
don't take anything personally.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that is giving yourself permission to be you.
Hugely permission to be you. Yeah.
Yeah, those 4 things are gold. And that's the 4 agreements by Don.
Don Miguel Ruiz.
There you go.
Yeah.
But them alone, if you can, and you may go, oh, there's so many to do. There's so many to do in there. No, well, just pick one. Just today, pick one. Don't take things personally. When somebody says, go, not my monkey, not my circus. Oh, okay, thank you. And moving on from that. But I'm a firm believer on the 4 agreements. And I pull myself back when I can say something or I hear something. Just allows you to pivot, and then you can celebrate as well. Then you can go, oh, didn't take that one personally. Oh, I took that one personally. Wow, that's an insight. That's an experience I didn't think I had. And then you can carry on. But the celebrate one to me is such a fun one.
Yes.
It's such a fun one because life can be dead flowers. It can be, well, I should say dead flowers, but there's value in those. But life can be down. But if you choose to see the down, you're only going to see down everywhere. Like, I'm going to buy a yellow car. Then what happens? There's no yellow cars. They're flipping everywhere, and didn't know there was so many of them. And I say yellow because we talked about yellow cars, and literally as soon as we sat in the car and we talked about it, there was like 3 came towards us, like,
But
really?
of course.
Really? How can I manifest that, but not the other things I'm looking to manifest? but it just sums up. Give yourself permission to be you.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know the other thing on the flip side about the importance of giving yourself permission to be you is, and we talked about this prior to pressing record today, is people pleasing.
Oh yeah,
people pleasing is the drain of this.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will do this. I can think of different conversations I've had of, oh my gosh, I can't show up and speak like this because that person will disapprove of me or disown me or not like me, or right. So it's like we censor ourselves in order to like keep the peace or not upset the apple cart type of thing.
People pleasing is even keeping yourself quiet, not even speaking up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
It's insane. And we know when you hold stuff down, it filters inside.
Well, yes, and 2 things. It kind of takes root inside and festers. But I think also, if you keep doing that, at some point it's going to explode.
Yeah.
Right. If you do not give yourself permission to be you, let's say, and you have, I have to speak this way over here, and I have to think about that person, I have to do this thing for that person, and those types of patterns create resentment.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Yeah.
If you do it long enough, resentment starts to take root. And that's what we're saying about festering. So if you stuff it down and stuff it down and stuff it down, at some point it's going to explode. Damn it, why don't all these people see all the sacrifices I'm making for them and all the things I do? Which, of course, why would they? Why would they? They are all being busy having permission to be themselves.
Yeah.
And we are thinking, and I'm talking from felt experience, because I I am a recovering, I was going to say recovered, but I think, yeah, sometimes I let myself down on here too. People pleasing is such an energy drain, and it is not what we came here for. It is not the purpose of any of our lives.
No, and I look, and the opposite of people pleasing is narcissist. And so we're not saying give yourself permission to be you as a narcissist. It is like the whole like it is, but not to the level of like I just actually had to Google the actual full dictionary meaning of narcissist, and it says it's a mental health condition that people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance. So giving yourself permission to be you can be seen as narcissism to some people, but it's how you deliver it. It's like, I'd love to be part of that, but I can't right now. But I know someone else who can help. Now, by saying no, now is that narcissistic? No,
No.
that's a different way. So there's different levels of the medium, and it's your energy.
Mhm.
I'm going to say it's how you say no, or this doesn't work for me now, but also being okay with saying that.
Absolutely,
not
that
going,
you have the right to do that.
I don't. Oh no, I feel really bad, and like own that certainty of what it is. But we're giving yourself permission to be you. The people pleasing versus narcissist. It's actually the medium. It's the middleman. It's the middleman, but it's all around your energy. It's how you're saying it.
Mhm. I don't know that the piece about narcissism actually belongs in here, because to me that is not the other end of the spectrum.
That's because I did Google of opposite of people pleasing. That's what I came up with. Google. Blame Google there.
Okay, then blame Google. The thing is about narcissism, and I've had narcissists in my life. Narcissists do not have the capacity to see anything from the eyes of another person or from the needs of another person. Everything always comes back to them. 100% in a very selfish, manipulative, oppressive way. And so that's the heaviness in there. So I don't like to just, I won't be lighthearted about that comparison.
Well, yeah. So narcissism for me is an extreme.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the extreme, like the beyond 10 of you will do this type thing, but it's not that. It's still having that heart, and which is, I'm going to say not the extreme. I'm going to say not the extreme, because I don't even like the label narcissism. It just but it's being able to make a decision that feels right for you.
Right. But the other thing
What I'm trying
about
to
it,
say.
so sorry?
Which is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say it's not it's you can see my hands. It's not way down there. It's not down there. That tunnel is that. What's the you don't want to people please, you don't want to be a narcissist, you want to be that happy medium where you feel right making your own decisions. Not how's this going to take someone out, or it's not having that ugliness attached to it.
So, the term narcissism, I believe personally, is being overused, because there's a difference between self-absorbed and narcissism. Self-absorbed, I would put that as the opposite of people pleasing. But narcissism is a clinical kind of thing that person cannot snap out of it. It's like
it's an off the spectrum.
Yeah.
It's
like, because where the roots of that word is, right? It's like a Greek mythology thing where the I can't remember the Greek myth. It's narcissist or Narce. I can't remember his name, but he became bewitched by his own reflection, and that's all that existed was his own reflection, and just became completely mesmerized, like, wow, that's so awesome. So that to me, like, and so now right there you can see that that's taking self-absorbed, because we all are self-absorbed to a degree.
Yeah, totally. Well,
Right.
self-absorbed feels warmer.
It's lighter, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not, because it's not all the time, whereas narcissism is.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying, I really, really encourage people to realize that permission to be you is a gift that you give to the collective. That each one of us, that's what I said earlier about the purpose of your life, is to know yourself and to also know that you are not for everybody. Not everybody's going to vibe with you or get you. And that's great, because to that degree, when you find your people and find the people who are not yours, that's great, because it says you're actually aligning with who you really are.
Yeah.
Right.
And when I love that. It's the finding the tribe, but being okay to move on. That does not, when I say tribe, means your community, your tribe, find the ones who you can, who you resonate
Who you
with.
vibe with. Yeah.
Yeah. And some are family and some are not.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I say family, there's birth family, as in blood family,
Yep.
and then there's other. So you might have a best friend who's like your sister, or an older male around who's like your older brother, or whatever. But I think just it's all about just being you.
Yeah.
It's just being you. And I'm just going to go back, because when Moira said that, I actually wrote that down as a point, is it's a gift to give to the collective.
Yeah.
Like I love that when you look at it like that, you have a
responsibility to do it.
Yeah, and you have a warmth in your heart that it feels right. It's not like, oh, I need to do this, I have to do this, that wording, but it's actually a gift to give to the collective. Just warms my heart. But nothing's set in concrete is the other thing I was saying, is it can move. We can just go, okay, today these people feel right for me, and this, and then it doesn't feel right. Or I'm going to go to this job, what's not feeling right for me. I'm not as inspired. What's going on, So I'm going to say nothing's permanent and everything's flexible, but open your eyes. If you're not feeling okay about going to work every day and there's something triggering you, don't hide from it.
Yeah, own it.
Like, actually
unpack
open your eyes and go, wow, what's this all about? What's really going on? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. And I was, as you were describing that, I was thinking that sometimes what's vibing for you is going to be contributed to your PEMs. If you're feeling really tired, maybe you don't want to go into a place that's really loud and lots of people.
Yeah.
Right. So because when you're saying about finding your tribe, well, they're not going to be your tribe all the time. So it's very much
well,
about.
It does. Your PEMS is a beautiful one.
Yeah.
Your PEMS is a beautiful one.
So just giving yourself permission to say, oh, you know what, I'm not feeling that today.
Yeah. Listen to me. My mum would clip me across. Yeah. That's it, Moira. That's it. That's exactly it. I've just noticed the time.
I know.
Do not ask me how this has just happened, but I just went, whoa, where did that go? Where did that go? Our time just shot away on us. So let me sum this up. Let us sum it up. And I'm actually going to just go, I'm going to list the first few because Moira just spoke and I grabbed what I could and did pointers.
Okay.
And then Moira's going to pick up what I missed out, because when Moira said them, we didn't usually go, and here's a tip, and here's a tip. It flowed in a conversation.
Right.
So we'll see if I've captured all this, Moira, compared to what you wrote down. So giving yourself permission to be you, one of the tips I had was making your own choices. And Moira's one of my favorite sayings from Moira is, how does this make me feel about me? And it's as simple as that. And I have this little thing on a little love heart on my computer. And it says, It's very simple. 3 questions. Is this good for me? Is this good for others? And do I want to do it? Do I want to? And you have to go, yes, yes,
All
yes.
3. Mhm.
If you're saying, I don't know, not sure, maybe, yes, yes, I don't know, then it's a no for all 3.
Mhm.
So making your, how does this make me feel about me? Doing this, is this good for me? That's how quick it is.
Yeah.
Is it good for me? Yep. Is it good for others? Yep. Do I want to do it? Then the answer is no. That's it. It's literally that's it. The next tip I had was other people's opinions are none of my business.
Mhm.
Other people's opinions, and it's the old not my monkey, not my circus in my head. I think about that. Then the next one I had was who said that? Who said that? That's what I wrote down. Who said that? Who said that? Comes God, Moira's voice. Who said that? When something comes in and you're like, oh, I can't do this because of this or whatever it is. And that's our old belief. Where did it come from?
Mhm.
Where did it come from? Who said that? It's good to see Moira's voice. And Moira's voice does come in. Where did that come from? Is what I get. Where did that come from? I'm like, Moira. And then the next one I had was own your role in this. Own your role in this. Own. So awareness, be aware of it. And our missing information is what can hold us back.
Mhm.
Now, did I miss anything from that conference? What did you have written down as specific tips?
So I did have some short notes based on what you just
That's
said.
perfect.
But the one piece that, and I'm not sure if you did say this, is that I take accountability for all of my choices and decisions. So
Oh yeah.
giving myself permission to be me means I'm being accountable because I know I'm a creator of all choices and decisions and directions I take, right? Which then led into what I was talking about the purpose of life, all of our life purpose. And you can put whatever verbiage on what this is, but the fundamental thread through all of our life purposes is to know yourself, know thyself. And knowing yourself really is a fundamental piece to then giving yourself permission to be that.
Yeah.
And it evolves. As you evolve, it evolves. That version of you, right? We're always evolving and up-leveling and shifting and changing, right?
It is, and yeah, and with that, I had added that you have to get clear on what you want it to look like.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if you don't know what you want it to look like, you're just going to get, like, if you go and buy a bunch of flowers and they're like, what colors do you want? What type of flowers do you want? What, like, do you want long? Do you want ones that are like, I don't know. You're going to get, I don't know. You're going to get whatever. But if you can go, I want long stem things, I would like this to last this long. I'd like half to die off in the next 2 weeks. And I'd like if you get really specific, you're more likely to get it because you're clear on that.
Right. But the thing that I just thought of too is be wary of not getting stuck in paralysis by analysis. Because sometimes, right? Oh, I can't make a decision because maybe I want long stem, but then maybe this color, maybe. No.
Yes. I love, yeah, totally. But then Moira came on and she said, celebrate versions of yourself.
Yeah.
And pat yourself on the, like, celebrate, just go, wow, that's fantastic. I got through that. Like, wow, look at where you got. And I think even just patting yourself on the back is when chaos hits, you're not left with, oh, how am I going to survive here? Or this is the worst thing that's happened to me. It's like, you just know you've gone through things before and you're still here to tell the tale.
Yep.
Yes, you might have a few cracks in your body that you're feeling. Yeah, that's it. But Pat, you celebrate and celebrate who you are right here, right now. And I think that's an important one with whatever celebrate looks like for you.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because you're worthy of that for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that. You're worthy of this.
Yes, 100%.
Gonna make that as our final point. You're worthy.
You're worthy. The next one I had down here was you brought in the 4 agreements, and they are such fundamental pieces to being you, permission to be you. So always, and I used to do this. I don't so much anymore because I guess the 4 agreements have kind of really embedded themselves. But each morning to just set an intention. Just for today, I'm going to be impeccable with my word. I'm not going to take things personally. I will not make any assumptions, and I'm going to do my best. That's it.
Yeah.
You could actually use that as the way to set up your day every day. And then see how your energy shifts.
Your whole day, I will guarantee that your day will shift. If you start questioning yourself and looking at these things, I guarantee your day will shift to a different level of where you've been in that. And if you're in chaos, you go, okay, where did I make assumptions?
Yeah.
Where did I not do my best? Where was I not impeccable with my word? Where was I taking things personally? The moment you take accountability, I'm sure we talked about accountability. We talked about awareness.
We did.
Own your role in this accountability.
Yep.
The moment you can do that, you'll let things shift.
Yeah.
Nothing like, I know I've got somewhere nothing's permanent, but it moves. It's not as concrete and solid.
Yes.
As such.
Yes.
The next tip I've got is people pleasing versus self-absorbed.
Yes.
And be aware of your people pleasing.
Yeah.
Because people pleasing will burn you out. People pleasing will take you out. You'll get disgruntled. You'll feel out a fair exchange. You'll go, why me again?
You'll start to be resentful.
Yeah, and it will build and build and build. So just be aware of that people pleasing, but not the extreme other side of being self-absorbed. It's just like, I'm just making decisions for me, which is, we took that, is this good for me? Is this good for others? And do I want to do it? Those little things are just gold. That will, you're not going to sit in the people pleasing, and you're not going to sit in the self-absorbed. You're going to sit in the
neutrality of being you. Yeah. Yeah.
Jinx.
That was jinx.
Yeah.
But then also, that was when I had said about when we do that, it's a gift we're giving to the collective, right? Because the more we do our own inner work.
That's a tip on my own. Gift to give to the collective.
Okay, but it's about yeah. Okay, you have it as a tip on its own.
But because I do think that on its own is solid. It is a gift to give to the collective. And when you can see it as a gift, your whole energy, and you're not ego driven, like, oh, I've given them a gift. It's like, oh, this feels right. It just feels in your heart right.
But that's also about what's that quote that says, be the change that you wish to see? So when you wish to see harmony and balance and peace and ease all around you, it's got to start within you first. And that means you got to give yourself permission to be you, so that you can actually lead by example.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm coming from when I talk about gifting to the collective, because it's from a humble space. It's from a connecting to who you really are at the core. Yeah. Yeah.
It's even just, I know when you give to the collective, it feels that alone feels like it's wrapped in glitter. That just warms me up.
There's a celebration.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. The next one I had down here was find your tribe. And find your tribe. And I talked about family, blood or other, but find the people that you resonate with, who are going to support you, but also, and when I say support you, but also challenge you, make you go, is that the right, wisest word to be using? Or, to engage that conversation, to keep you stimulated, not challenge to burnout level, not that, but also it's wise to have people who challenge and support you all the way through. So my friendship with Moira is not just support. It's definitely challenge and support, but it's an equal balance of both. And when you have that, it feels like right. Yeah. So we Moira and I in our podcast conversations, we're challenging people to think differently.
Yeah.
We're not challenging you to go to burnout and change your whole world and drop all your friends and change that. Like, we're not saying that. We're
you
tribe,
only take what resonates.
That's right. You're picking off that platter. I'll just take what feels right with me. Yeah. Deborah goes back to food again. But find that tribe that feels right. So don't just go to all the supportive people. Make sure you've got those ones who, and when I say challenge, I'm talking about, is that the right word to use, or is that? and we had that in this conversation when I talked about narcissism.
Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah.
could be seen as challenging more, but it actually unpacked, and it's having that beautiful space to be able to unpack, engage, be aware of that. You're not just all black and white.
It's based in loving kindness and respect. That's the key piece there. The challenge is still based from respect and kindness.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important part there too.
Yeah.
I think we're getting to the end. The last tip that I have here was that nothing's set in stone, and that I kind of tied that to the PEMS check-in, because we were saying about finding your tribe, that it's not set in stone that this group, this is the group that I always go to, because when we check into our own physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, maybe we're not vibing with it just right now, right? So it's about really permission to be you means all ups and downs and in betweens.
Yeah,
Which really
the
showing
PEMS
up
is a great
authentic.
one.
Yeah, I know.
The PEMS is a great one because you don't have to, like we talked about, nothing's permanent, but you can just go, oh, I'm a 3. Oh, I'm a 5. Oh, well, no wonder I'm losing no wonder the traffic's frustrating me because I'm a 10.
Yeah. Yes.
Like that's how simple it is.
Yep.
Just, oh, well, no wonder. And it's that awareness. I know we talked about awareness somewhere up the points from there. But the PEMS is just that makes sense. Oh, no wonder.
It's a light bulb moment.
Yeah. And because you react differently with your PEMS.
Mm-hmm.
You react differently if things come to you and you're like, yeah, whatever. But if you are a 10 and more things come, you're probably going to go higher up on the double digit thingies. I love that there was a couple of things you said: loving kindness and respect.
Mm-hmm.
Loving kindness and respect, and knowing that you've been through things.
Yeah,
would be my stuff. And giving yourself permission to be you. Moira said earlier, you are worthy.
Yeah, that's
Dr.
what
John
you said. You said we're going to do that as our end one. You are worthy.
Dr. Martini says, he says, no matter what you've done or not done, you're worthy of love.
Yeah.
And I love that. You're worthy. You're worthy of love.
Mm-hmm.
We all fall down and get back up, but you are worthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's anything else before we wrap up?
Well, no, I think that we should just make sure that everybody knows you've been given a permission slip now to just go and be you.
Yeah.
Off you go, people. You. There.
Off you go.
Permission slip granted.
And away you go. Out to the world you go. Yeah. I love that. So giving yourself permission to be you, that's our podcast conversation. Surprise, a little bit different to last time.
That's a good thing though, isn't it? Well,
we can't.
We are giving ourselves permission. Exactly.
And is this good for us? For me, yeah. Was it good for others? Sure. Do I want to? I'm in. Yep. I thank you, listeners, for listening to our Deliciously Motivated Mindset conversation today. It's not that hard. I love that. You are worthy of this and more. But we can tell you that. You've got to feel it in your heart.
Yeah.
So as we wrap it up, I've got my hand on my heart. I want to thank everybody for coming today and listening to us. And thanks, Moira and the internet. But if you liked this, I would like to encourage people to, if you liked this or resonated with it, or even if you didn't like this, like if there was a part of you that didn't like this, I'd like you to share and open the conversation with people.
Yeah.
I'd like you to share this podcast with people and open up a conversation about what resonated with you. What tips did we miss? What did they say that challenged you? What did they say that supported you? So the next step is share this and engage in open conversation.
Love it. Yeah.
And then the next tip from that is reach out to us. Let us know. Like we're here. We're nosy. We want to know. We would love to know how this has impacted your world, how this has made you think, where you are.
How did this make you feel about you?
Yeah. Totally. Oh, and in saying that, now we're doing our PEMs.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're doing our PEMs. So, Moira, you were a 2 and I was a 3, and listeners, you were a ... And so where are you now, Moira, with yours?
I'm at 0.5. How about you?
I'm at a 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm not a 0. I'm definitely shifted. 100% I've shifted. I'm at a 1.5 because I've got a few things in here. I'm just gonna when I say look over, I'm not going to spend. Yeah, I'm not going to spend 8 hours. It's literally going to be, oh, what's that word? Oh, that word. Yeah, I like that. I didn't like that. Da, da, da. It's literally going to be a 2 to 3 minute exercise in my head. I'm not, and that will take me to that 0.
Good.
Definitely.
Good.
Definitely. So thank you, listeners, for today. If you like this, the next step is share it and reach out to us and let us know what resonated with you and what didn't. And you are worthy with loving kindness and respect. So go out there and give yourself permission to be you.
Yes. Love it.
Yay. Thanks, listeners. Thanks, Moira. Thank you, Moira.
Thank you. Thank you, Internet. Thank you, listeners.
Thanks.
Thank you, Deb. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.